Come in and craft with me. I'm Joey with Created in Awe, and today we have a wood kit and you won't believe what this is going to turn into. We have another adorable wood kit from the Farmhouse Charm by Joey collection. Details are in the description of the video. This will be a shutter shelf. So you'll have 10 narrow wood slats for your shutters, 4 for the shelves, 2 to hold the shutter pieces. There are the brackets for the shelves. You'll have 4 of those, each have 2 pieces. And then you've got the frame itself, and that's going to be 2 pieces. So you have the narrow front piece and then the little bit wider back piece. So let's get started. All of these pieces I am first going to give a stained look. So I took that antique wax from Home Decor and on a wet wipe, and I am just applying it to everything. So we will skip ahead, and everything has been stained and dried. And I want the chippy look for my paint. So I'm grabbing just some scrap pieces of old candle wax, and I am rubbing it across each of the pieces. Every single piece, front and back, and all the edges got the wax, and you can see it there. Now I'm going to go over it with plaster color of Waverly chalk paint. It doesn't have to be a super thick coat, so I'm going to use a sponge dauber and put it on. Now I don't want it to be thin either, but it will go a little bit faster if I use this sponge dauber, and it will dry a little faster. Everything will get a full coat of this. Does not have to be 100% solid. You can see through it in places because when we go to chip the paint later, you're going to want that to be distressed. So front, back, and all the sides. You'll see there's a couple of pieces I skipped the back of, and it's okay. So here they are, completely dried. Now we're ready to give them the chippy look. Oh, the back of the bracket there, that didn't get painted, and that's okay. We'll try 2 methods, using a paint scraper, like you see here, and also using packing tape. Both of these are just different ways of getting your chippy finish, and we'll see what you think. Okay, I want to tell you real quick. Remember I said you'll have 4 pieces for your shelves? You only need 2 of them if you want a single layer thickness. But if you want a more sturdy, thicker shelf, you can actually double these. Glue 2 pieces together to give yourselves 2 thick shelves. I am going to set 2 aside and just use the thin ones. Now we're ready to remove some of that paint. I am placing a piece of the tape on the wood, pressing it down and lifting it up. And because of the wax layer underneath the paint, that paint is starting to chip off in places. Now the tape method is not going to take a lot off. So let's take a look. This is the method using the paint scraper. It takes more. It shows more of the stained wood underneath. Whichever look you like is what you'll want to go with. I like using the paint scraper is what I've decided between these 2. So we're going to go with it. So I'm going to finish scraping this piece and go back to the first one and scrape some of the paint off of that. And then we're going to do all the rest of these pieces. When you're finished, be sure you clean up your area well. You're going to have a lot of bits and pieces of paint and wax. So here you can see all of our pieces completely chipped. There's one I'm just going to do a little more work on. And some of them you'll have more paint chip off than others. It just depends on how much wax was put on. So I am going to go ahead and start gluing together this frame. I use Stick Fast thick glue. It's like a super glue that goes on like a gel. There's the piece that I also didn't paint, but that's okay because it's going to go against the back piece. And I wiped off the excess paint and wax that had kind of collected on the back of it. So I'm putting a solid line all the way around because I don't want this piece to be loose in any area. Be careful, it is a super glue. And I couldn't hold everything together all at one time, so I'm going to use some clamps to make sure all of the sections of wood are touching together. This glue sets up in a matter of 10 to 20 seconds. That's all it's going to take. So I'm just going to set it aside, and now we'll go ahead and glue our bracket pieces together. The front bracket piece will get the glue, and I'm laying it down on the back piece. I am making sure that tab is exposed. Center up the decorative area of that bracket onto the back piece, leaving that tab so it can go into the slot of the frame. So there's another one. You can see I left that tab. All 4 of those are now done. I skipped ahead. And now I want to put into place the brackets for the slats. There's a certain direction it needs to go, and I'll show you as I do this. I put the glue on the back layer of the frame, and I am putting that bracket so that the slats will be angled downward. And you'll see that better after we lay it down. But glue that to the back layer of the frame on the inside. And then the second one. And always make sure they're going the same direction. You don't want to have to take this apart. Check and check again if you have to. But I'm going to hold that in place. I didn't have to clamp this. Just hold it for 10 to 20 seconds. And of course this is sped up, so it looks like it's going faster than it really is. Now we're going to glue in the slats. I thought I was going to start with the top one, but I was a little worried about the placement, so I skipped down to the bottom. Just put the glue onto the bracket and then slide that slat into place and hold it there. Again, just a few seconds. It'll continue to dry as long as everything has been pressed against. And then we skip again. Now you're doing the last one. Now we're back up to the top, and I'm going to put the glue on that top piece of the bracket, and it really wasn't holding in place. It kind of moved, it just wasn't taking hold. So I flipped it around, and we're going to do it from the other direction. And I'm also going to put a little bit of glue on the top row of that back frame, just where those the holes are to be hanging it, and hold that in place, and there it is. Now it's time for the brackets. There's that little tab piece. It's going to fit right in that slot up against the front outer piece of the frame. So I'm putting glue right in the front of that tab against the decorative portion. Slip it into the tabbed opening and hold it there. You are going to have to hold it there for a good 10-15 seconds, and make sure you're pressing against the wood so it's all attaching. And I'll let that sit and dry while I work on the bottom too. Same thing, put that glue right in front of the tab so that it's going to glue that bracket to basically both pieces of the frame. And here's the last one. Now, once I've held that in place for several seconds, I'm going to move up to the top layer shelf. Those have set up now. I'm going to take one of my 2 shelf pieces of wood, decide which direction I want it to be, and we'll take the glue and I'm going to put it on the top of the bracket. That gel is going to hold it in place, and then I'm also going to put it on the back edge that's going to be up against the shutter, and really hold that in place. Give that a good 10-15 seconds, holding it firmly. We'll do the same thing on the next one. So the glue goes on the top of the bracket, each one, and then on the back edge that's going to go against the shutter, and hold it in place. And guess what? It's done. It is so stinking cute. Now I will spray over this with clear sealer just to protect all of the paint. There's the back of it. I could paint that if I want to. I don't think I will. I think it looks great just like it is. So here's the front, here's the side, all chippy and worn and beautiful. And here's one of our other kits so you can see what it would look like on display. If you want information about this kit or any of our wood kits, it'll be in the description of this video. And I hope you'll go check it out. Rust Covered Cottage, the Farmhouse Charm by Joey collection. Thanks so much for watching.